Hey guys, this is Dr. Hub. In case you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to learn and grow daily. Let's look at the food poisoning and the organisms. So the topic is the food poisoning. So we have a certain durations from which the organisms it manifest. So 1 to 6 hours. So within this 1 to 6 hours, there are two organisms which are involved. One is the Staph aureus. One will be the Staph aureus. And the second organism which is involved is nothing but the Bacillus cereus. So what is this Staph aureus associated with? So this Staph aureus is associated with the NVD, that is nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. So what are the common food sources? The common food sources, it includes the ham, it includes the poultry, it includes the potato, as well as the cream and the pastries. Next, it also includes the mayonnaise. So all these items, it contributes to the Staph aureus. Next, we move on to the Bacillus aureus. Bacillus cereus. So what is this Bacillus cereus? So this Bacillus cereus, it again manifests with the NVD, that stands for the nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. And the commonly associated food source is very important, it is a fried rice. Next is we move on to the time period of 8 to 16 hours. So here in 18-16 hours, the organisms, it includes the Clostridium perfringens, as well as the Bacillus cereus. So what are the manifestations? So here in Clostridium perfringens, so we write it as CP. So here again there is here the presentation is abdominal cramps, as well as associated with the diarrhea. So what are the sources? Sources, it includes beef, there is poultry, as well as legumes and the gravies. Next, again looking at the Bacillus cereus. So here again it can present with the abdominal cramps and the diarrhea. And here it includes the meat vegetables. The sources include the meat, the vegetables, the dried beans, as well as the cereals. So this was up to 8 to 16 hours. Next, moving on to greater than 16 hours. So this is where maximum organisms play a role. So greater than 16 hours. So when you're looking at greater than 16 hours of the IP, that is incubation period, the first one will be the Vibrio cholera. Very important one, Vibrio cholerae. So this organisms, it presents with very distinctive watery diarrhea. So there is watery diarrhea. And the source, it includes the shellfish. So there's a shellfish, as well as it can be due to the water. Next, we move on to the Salmonella species. So here in the Salmonella species, the presence with the inflammatory diarrhea. Salmonella presents with the inflammatory diarrhea. So what are the sources of the Salmonella species? The sources, it includes the beef. So it can include the beef, it can include the poultry, as well as it can include the eggs. Next, we move on to the enterotoxic Escherichia coli. So let's move on to the enterotoxigenic Escherichia coli. So enterotoxigenic Escherichia coli. So here again it presents with the watery diarrhea. So here there is watery diarrhea. And next is the source of contamination will be the salads, next the cheese and the meats. Then moving on to the enterohemorrhagic E. coli. Enterohemorrhagic E. coli. So enterohemorrhagic E. coli, it includes the watery diarrhea. So again there is watery diarrhea here. And there is also the source includes. So this is about the enterohemorrhagic. The enterohemorrhagic it doesn't present with watery diarrhea, it presents with the bloody diarrhea. This is enterohemorrhagic, as the name suggests. So here it is bloody diarrhea. So the enterohemorrhagic includes bloody diarrhea, and what are the sources? The food sources of enterohemorrhagic, it includes the food sources. The food sources, it includes the raw milk. So there's presence of raw milk, there's presence of raw vegetables. Next, there's also presence of the apple juice. So all this, it includes are part of the enterohemorrhagic E. coli. The next organism we are going to look at is a Campylobacter. It is a Campylobacter. The organism is a Campylobacter jejuni. So Campylobacter jejuni, the presentation is the inflammatory diarrhea. So another inflammatory diarrhea was in Salmonella species. So again in Campylobacter jejuni, it is the inflammatory diarrhea. And the source of this is going to be the poultry and the raw milk. So the source is going to be the poultry as well as the presence of the raw milk. Next we move on to the Shigella species. So what happens in the Shigella species? So Shigella species. So Shigella species, the presentation is going to be dysentery. So presentation is going to be the dysentery, and the source is going to be the potato, that is going to be the egg salad as well as the lettuce. Next, the last organism we are going to look at is the Vibrio. The Vibrio parahemolyticus. The Vibrio parahemolyticus. So this is again presenting with the complaints of dysentery. So the individual has dysentery, and the source of contamination is going to be the mollusks as well as the crustaceans. To watch more videos like these and grow daily, subscribe to the Dr. Hub channel.